So, how do we do this? Do I do the thing and then you say it?
Yeah, you did. I think you did the intros, right?
I think.
We did. Yeah.
Which one am I?
You're Philip Fullman.
Okay. I think I got it. Hold on.
I'm Brandon Luna.
All right.
You got it?
I think so. Hold on.
Okay.
Hey, kids. Welcome to another edition of Love to Hate. I'm Philip Fullman.
And I am Brandon Luna.
Yeah, I think that's...
Yeah, that sounds right.
It
sounds
sounds familiar.
Right.
How you been, buddy?
I've been good, man. Been good.
You working?
Working lots, yeah. Lots of traveling, lots of, going places.
I can't throw it all on you because sometimes when you're in town, then it's just like, hey,
You're
I'm it's like I'm dead.
Right. Well, you got a newish gig, so you got a different schedule.
Yeah. So
and all that stuff,
same shops, but got a new boss, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
The king is dead. Long live the king.
There you go. That's a cigar.
So, it is a lot nicer. I feel like Peter in Office Space,
right?
Where it's like, but now it's like I have one boss instead of I have four bosses.
The committee, yeah,
yeah. So a lot easier. It makes it a lot better communication. And he's a great guy. He's young and he's got a lot of great ideas for the shop.
Excellent.
And he's been coming to that shop for a while. So yeah, I'm excited about it. And like I say, he's got a lot of good ideas.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
And your gig's good? You still making the world safe for cigars?
Yeah, still doing my thing, man.
Excellent.
Still selling cigars. Slinging sticks, man. That's what I call it.
And your dress code changed, so...
Yes, I get to be a little more casual now.
Congrats.
Not super, super cash, but like business cash.
No, but,
Yeah. Wear the suit
not
jackets.
having to walk around in a coat and tie in Texas.
110 degrees like it was the other day, yeah.
Oh, my God. I can't deal... I like the dry heat. You give me 115 dry over... 90 degrees with 80% humidity. The humidity just sucks it out of you. But
yeah, it does. Kinks up my beard, man.
It does. I was going to compliment you on that. That is
I'm not a big fan of the kinky
excellent beard, sir.
Thank you, sir. It's my first attempt.
Yeah?
Ever to have like a full beard.
Does Danny like it?
No.
Really?
No.
Danny, come on. It looks great.
The family's not so much a fan of it.
Why?
But the people at work that I work with do. They like it.
So the people who sign your checks, then the money goes to your family.
Right.
Well, there you go.
They're like, oh man, the beard looks great. I'm like, okay, it was a shame beard, but I'll keep it.
It was a what?
A shame beard.
Why?
I grew it when I left the one job and I didn't have a job, and I was like, I'm just gonna let it grow. I'm not gonna shave.
I'm gonna be a hobo.
And then everybody's like, oh, it looks good. I'm like, oh shit. I guess I'm keeping the beard.
Well, the old job that you had to look pretty.
Yeah, you had to be prim and proper.
Pretty.
I mean, I still do to a degree, but this looks. I just got to get it trimmed. I got to find a guy. I don't have a guy. I need to find a guy to trim my beard.
Yeah, I could send you to my gal, but she's in Richardson.
Oh yeah,
but
I
she's
need someone
good.
that can
also does the hair.
Shape it a little bit.
Yeah. There's videos. Seriously, as gay as it sounds, just YouTube.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, there's not. Man, see, I probably offended somebody.
You probably did. Especially the people that were at the what was
the
it?
Democratic Socialist of America convention.
The Snowflake convention. Just call it that.
So did you hear any of? You had to have heard about it.
I did.
I mean, I'm listening. I'm thinking this has got to be a skit, right?
I thought it was from The Onion, or
Yeah, because it's so absurd. That you're thinking this can't be real. These people cannot exist. And then you find out, oh shit, they do. They walk among us.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at one point I'm laughing, and then another point I'm like, oh my God, this is scary because they're going to grow up maybe.
Right.
Or I mean, theoretically they should already be grown-ups, but they're going to enter the workforce. I guess I'm worried for nothing because it's not like their agenda is a popular agenda,
right.
And B, they don't have the balls to execute anything anyway because they couldn't even agree at their own convention.
Right.
Just not over rules of what is our platform, what do we believe, but over who was offended by whom else, or who was offended by something somebody else said.
Right.
It starts, I'm trying to think, I think I've got the clip here, but it starts, there's this one guy, and you get up, you give your name, where you're from, and your pronoun. So
the gender identifier.
He, him, yes. So you know how somebody wants to be addressed. So he gets up because he's having some issues with the crowd.
Right.
And then after he speaks, I'll let it play through. You got to listen close because he says something offensive during his little thing. Now, this is a point of personal privilege. Mm-hmm. So you get to interrupt the convention for your personal privilege. It's just all about you. But during his, he says something offensive. See if you can point it out or see if you can find out what it is.
Okay.
Let's see here. Of course, now it won't play.
Of course.
Quick point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Guys, first of all, James Jackson, Sacramento, he, him. I just want to say, can we please keep the chatter to a minimum? I'm one of the people who's very, very prone to sensory overload. There's a lot of whispering and chatter going on. It's making it very difficult for me to focus. Please, can we just, I know we're all fresh and ready to go, but can we please just keep the chatter to a minimum? It's affecting my ability to focus. Thank you.
Thank you, comrade. Okay, is there a speaker against name, chapter, pronouns?
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Yeah, see? Did you hear that? See? James Jackson used gendered language. He said, hey, guys.
Right.
Well, not everybody there identifies as a guy.
I have a real problem with that because I think that...
You have a point of personal privilege with that?
I have a point of personal privilege with that, in that that's fine if you want to be addressed a certain way, but don't force me to do it. Don't force everybody out there in the world.
And don't assume I know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I don't.
Plus, I mean, dude is dude, right? Or, hey, guys. Guys and dude, that's just like, that's the thing. Maybe it's misogynistic now to say that, I guess, because we're assuming someone's gender. I never assume someone's gender when I say, hey, guys, let's calm down. It's just an overall, it's an overstatement. Yeah.
This is for people.
It's a blanket statement, right?
Yeah,
people,
it's
I guess we have to switch now to people calm down.
Yeah.
But then someone will be like, I don't identify as a person, I identify as a cat. You know, that's something now too.
You joke.
I know.
I wouldn't doubt that there's some asshole out there going, I'm offended by that. I don't identify as a person. Point of personal privilege. So James Jackson
you identify
offended,
as a sloth because you don't do shit. That's what you do.
So the first kid gets up there, James Jackson, he, him, because apparently the crowd noise is causing issues for him because he suffers from sensory issues.
Okay.
Which I get. I have a few of those, not to mention the fact that I'm hard of hearing, so that doesn't help. But I get it. You're just taking in a lot. It can make it hard to concentrate. Well, if that's an issue, maybe don't fucking go to a convention.
Right.
Don't expect now that in this room full of people that everybody has to be silent so that it doesn't trigger you or so that you can focus. If you got focus issues, well, go see somebody, or, maybe you actually do have ADD, or maybe you've given yourself ADD by being on your phone so much. But you're expecting this entire room to maintain silence so that you are not disturbed.
Yeah.
So it goes on, but he wasn't finished. I think that's the next clip. Here we go.
Once again, hi, James Jackson, Sacramento DSA, he, him. I have already asked people to be mindful of the chatter of their comrades who are sensitive to sensory overload, and that goes double for the heckling and the hissing. It is also triggering to my anxiety. Like, the be comradely isn't just for, let's keep things civil or whatever. It's so that people aren't going to get triggered and so that it doesn't affect their performance as a delegate, okay? Your need to express yourself is important, but your need to express yourself should not trump or over...
Yeah, it should not trump or whatever. So, your expression does not trump the fact that you're disturbing this poor guy. And now you're triggering his anxiety. Mm-hmm. James Jackson from Sacramento, he, him.
Right.
Fuck. James Jackson from Sacramento should stay the fuck home.
Point of personal privilege, let's please not mention Trump during the delegation.
That's actually, I don't think it's on this clip, but actually somebody brings that up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he's giving rules because there'll be some protesters out there. Don't talk to them. And one of the things that the one guy states, he's the next clip, but I don't have that part, is don't talk to cops.
What?
Don't say anything to cops.
Wow.
Yeah, and don't talk to anybody who claims they're a reporter if they're not credentialed.
Jeez.
And, and they brought this on themselves because they live streamed this.
Yeah.
So all this went viral. People just like, are you kidding? Whatever your message, whatever your platform, it's fucking lost. And I'm not taking shots at socialists with this. These kids are, I don't know. Bernie Sanders would probably kick their ass.
Probably, yeah. Or that one guy that slapped the guy. What was it? The punch the kid that slapped him or whatever?
What?
You ever see that? The guy it was some guy. He was a racist asshole or something. He was in the Senate or whatever, and he was talking, and some kid like went up and hit him with the egg. Was it an egg? Smashed the egg on it. And he punched the guy. You don't remember that?
Go. Yeah. God, did you hear the guy who threw a kid to the ground, gave him a concussion, like in a fractured skull, because he wouldn't take his hat off at a rodeo?
Holy shit.
In Montana.
Wow.
His defense is that as a member of the military, he was following orders from his commander-in-chief that people respect the flag.
Oh, wow. How did that go over?
To be determined. I haven't heard the rest of the story. But yeah, so this kid wouldn't take, like, hey, take your hat off. Fucking show some respect for the flag. And the kid smarted off to an adult. So the guy just picks him up and throws him on the ground.
Wow.
Like,
that's assault. Yeah.
Like, yeah, see, I get it. The kid should take his hat off, be respectful. But kid wants to mouth off. It's like, well, it's not your fucking kid.
Right. But, you got to be, you got to know that might happen.
Especially in Montana.
Yeah.
I figure there's some places, it's probably okay and nobody's going to say anything, but ain't you at a rodeo?
Right. You walk up into someone's personal bubble and do something to them. They have full ability to, and I guess the rights to do what they want back. So remember the thing in the restaurant with the guy with the Make America Great hat? And it was here, right? That was in Dallas.
What?
Where the kid had the hat on, the guy took the hat off of him and like slapped him and walked out or something.
No.
Yeah. So that shit happens.
Well, see, the kid didn't get in this guy's space. I think the guy got in the kid's space.
Yeah.
But still, yeah. This guy is about to give some of the rules. So he goes, everybody do this. What he's doing is he's putting his hands straight up. It kind of looks like jazz hands, but it's how you applaud in sign language.
Okay. Just so we don't.
They're doing this so that there's no loud noises that shock people. So if you hear clapping and it makes you nervous or whatever because you hear these applause or this noise, then you just shoot up your hands and do something like that. And then there's special places you can go.
Oh. It could be because I'm not engaging, but it also is because everyone's doing this. And that's really important because those loud bursts of noise, even though this is a noisy space, when we can do something like reducing that, that's really important. So please don't clap, shoot up these. We have a lot of disabled comrades, and a lot of those are invisible disabilities. You don't know who it is that is having a more difficult time navigating this space, and this space was not created with all of their needs in mind. So it's up to us to modify that space to make sure that everybody is able to move in the ways that they need to move. And additionally, with the noise issue, like avoid hissing, avoid waving banners, right? Because there's all sorts of things. If you don't know what to do, show up these, right? I'm sure there's lots of ways that we can communicate to each other without needing to rely on something that's going to hurt somebody else. We have quiet rooms that are available. There's a range of options of these, right? Please don't go in that space with anything that's like an aggressive scent, for instance.
God.
Yeah.
Christ.
Wait, here.
Situations that they don't consent to, right?
Right. So, yeah, if they didn't consent to the stressful situation, don't put them in that by wearing some, 1980s Jean Nate or a bottle of Polo, I guess.
God,
it was like, how do you fucking function on a daily basis? We don't, there's a lot of ways we can make this better for people, by not making startling sound. Like, really?
Did anybody stand up at this thing and say, like, point of personal privilege, shut the fuck up and sit down?
Yeah, man, that would have gone viral. It's like,
spray that kid with some Axe body spray or some shit. Shut him up. Jesus.
How are they ever going to get an agenda enacted when they can't even when they're like afraid of smelling somebody's perfume.
Right. How do these kids work in an office? How do they live? You can't work in a Starbucks. It smells. I mean,
that's true.
That's their job right there.
There's noise in Starbucks.
Right.
There's whispering and talking in Starbucks.
Those machines make a lot of noise when you're doing the phone.
Yeah, that could be startling when the espresso machine goes off.
Right.
Or, what do you do if you're in traffic and somebody honks?
Right.
They're afraid of the freaking world. They've grown up in such a protected bubble that they don't know how to deal with the real world.
And who do you blame for that? Do you say that goes on parents 100%?
Or yeah. I mean, let's say maybe 10% of them have actual issues.
Right.
But at some point, then why didn't they learn to cope? Why weren't they taught coping mechanisms? Mm-hmm. I don't like large, noisy crowds. I kind of get stressed out in huge crowds. So you know what I do? I don't go to the mall at the height of
tax-free
shopping
weekend,
season.
Like now.
Yeah, I kind of go when it's a little more quiet, or I try to go to the grocery store sometime other than Super Bowl Sunday.
Right.
You just pick your moments. You can still function, but it's like, you know what? I don't want to deal with all the crowds.
Right.
So you just don't go. Or you know what? If something's going to be noisy and hectic, it's like, that restaurant sucks because you can't even hear yourself. Just don't go.
Right.
Instead of like, point of personal privilege, if all the diners would quit clanging their silverware.
only plastic silverware at the diners.
Right.
But make sure they're recyclable paper forks.
Point of personal privilege. This man threw his paper plates in the trash and not in the recycling. Please, people.
Right. That's crazy.
People can
man.
find a way to get offended over anything, I think.
Yeah, and the problem is that now those people have a voice. I mean, we've come when you and I were kids growing up.
Right.
If you had a problem like that, where you had problems in crowds or whatever, you'd tell your parents, and they just wouldn't take you to those places, or they'd just be like, or your dad would hit you on the side of the head and say, "Suck it up."
Suck it up.
Yeah, just we're going to be here for another couple hours. Just stop being a little.
We are
shithead.
here at Kmart for a long time.
We're at the Freedom Fest or whatever with the concert with a million people. Just stay close, don't get killed. That's basically what it was. And now you have to do all these things. I mean, you have to almost really. I mean, these people really need to be segregated individually in their little bubbles so that they can exist. And we can't be expected as a society to, number one, do that and also pay for it, because more than likely they're going to expect the government to give them sanctions of some sort.
Well, because these aren't introverts. These are just people who can't deal with other people.
Right.
With they can't deal with smell, they can't deal with sound, they can't deal with clapping, they can't deal with, gendered language.
Right.
It's like, what can you deal with?
Right.
What are you okay with? What is acceptable?
Right. And I think, if you live in that society where that's a thing, where let's say there is someone that's trans that identifies as a she and they obviously are a man, I think it's fully okay for them to say, if you're in a conversation with them, like, I prefer to be called her.
Yeah.
And, it's like, out of respect, okay, I get that.
Sure,
Sorry,
just tell me.
Just tell me, that's fine. I can't guarantee I'm going to do it all the time, but I'll try my best to make that adjustment for you.
Right.
But that's civil. That's easy. To expect that from everybody and to get your shit bent out of shape because someone at Starbucks says, "Hey, your drink's ready, buddy." You can't expect that from everybody.
No.
We're out here just trying to live our fucking lives, and
the needs of the one outweigh the needs of the many, or the personal picadillos of the one outweigh the many.
Yeah, it's not the reverse.
Because these aren't even needs.
Yeah,
your life's not threatened. You're just uncomfortable.
Right.
You're not on the verge of death. You're not getting trampled in a crowd in this situation. It didn't look like it was that well attended, unless everybody was up on the other floor with no audio. But yeah, you're in a quote unquote safe space because you're seated. There's not people rushing the stage or anything.
Right.
So you're fine. Your life's not in jeopardy.
Right.
You just want everybody to respect your wish, and it doesn't matter what they want.
Snowflake.
Because you're special, like everybody else.
Right. And I think a big part of that comes from that is that we're in a society now where there is no losers. I mean, how long ago did that start? When I was in school, if you played baseball and your team lost, you lost.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it.
You gave it a try, and your coach tried to give you lessons to grow by on it.
Right. And you had the neeners and the pointing fingers, and maybe you felt bad, but you dealt with it. You didn't skip school
and you
for
learned,
5 days.
you know what? Throughout the rest of my life, there are things I will lose.
Right. Exactly.
And it will be okay, and it won't kill me, because as long as I know I tried, that's truly the thing that mattered.
Yeah. It all goes back to what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right.
That's a very true statement.
But that relates to no pain, no gain. Well, whoa. We don't want any of these people to feel pain.
Right.
The parents have tried to protect them and insulate them from pain, which is shitty parenting.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
In parenting, you've got to let your kid get hurt, but you give them a safe place to come to and be comforted, and a place to let them know it's okay to fail.
Right.
As long as you try. And that's what home is for. It's not to sit there and just put up a wall around them and just tell them, I won't let anything hurt you. It's like, no, this is where you come when you are hurt.
Right.
When something didn't work out, and we'll talk about it, but you got to go out there and you got to do, and you're going to be around these things, and you're going to be around people you don't like. You're going to be around things, you're going to be around smells you don't like.
Right.
You're going to be around people who are loud, they're obnoxious, they're boorish, whatever. If you can't deal with it, you're screwed.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
I mean, there was a place for those people when we grew up, and that was a mental institution.
Yeah.
Really, you went, you had some treatment, and you either stayed there or you got out.
Truly, you're right. If this was somebody who was so fragile that they just couldn't cope, it's like we're going to put them away,
right?
And they're going to have to just live there, and where everybody just kind of caters around them, and it's everything they need, and they're in their bubble.
Right.
And some people, it requires medication.
I shouldn't have to pay for that, though.
What's that?
As a taxpayer, I shouldn't have to pay for that, though.
No, you're absolutely right. You shouldn't. That's on them.
Right.
But they don't have insurance because they don't have jobs.
Yeah.
Because they can't work because, again, the noise.
Yeah.
So they should be on disability.
Right.
For that.
The Grinch was a snowflake.
Yeah, no doubt.
Noise. He couldn't take it. He had to get rid of those who's.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But he learned how to cope.
So is this you and I, our generation, or is it the one we gave birth to and their kids? So would this be kids? I guess millennial goes up to 30.
It could be our generation. I think it's ours plus a little bit after. But yeah, I mean, I
like
got a
kids,
20-year-old,
grandkids.
So
yeah.
She's well adjusted, and she's contributing to society. And
but if you look at the age range, it's people kind of our age who had kids that
or in their 50s or whatever. Yeah.
Well, I am, so
yeah,
it would be. But what I don't get it, because our parents were boomers,
right?
Well, mine were actually greatest generation. Mine were older, but yeah, you would just think it'd be made out of tougher stuff.
You would think, man. But I think we cater too much to our kids nowadays. We got a lot of helicopter parents out there that, like you said, don't let their kids get hurt. Don't let their kids be in situations that could harm them emotionally or physically. And that's where a lot of that comes from.
A thought just crossed my mind. How many of these kids do you think come from poor families?
0.
Yeah.
0.
These are all rich, spoiled kids.
Right.
It's kind of like that. You don't hear about bulimia and anorexia in countries with no food. You hear about it here.
Right.
But you don't hear about it where people are like, no, I'm fucking starving.
Mm-hmm.
You probably wouldn't hear about this in poor areas.
No, absolutely not.
The overly sensitive, because you have to grow up a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
You have to learn to survive.
You do. And there's there's parts of the country or parts of the world, I think, that do have similar situations going on. I think there's a lot of this in Japan.
Yeah.
Because you have a whole subculture of people that dress really extravagantly, like cosplay on a daily basis. That's their life. They live that. They go out and they exist in that world, and they get bullied a lot, and they have to deal with social weirdities and have to, they are who they are. They're out there, but they're going to have to deal with those things. So there's a lot of people over there that are dealing with that. But that's a choice. That's not
right.
That's not something that was, part of their makeup from their family. It was just something they decided to do. So,
look, if you walk out with 2 different types of plaid, I'm going to make fun of you. Maybe not to your face, but it's like, yeah, you're going to be ridiculed.
Right.
It's like that's a bad idea.
We can't take it anymore, man. People don't like ridicule. People don't like hearing no. People don't like hearing you can't do this. People don't like hearing you did it wrong. There's a lot of things that people don't like nowadays, and they have the voice via social media to voice these things. And the problem with it is when we were growing up, you didn't have that voice. You had the news on at a certain time. You had newspapers, and that was it, right? If you wanted to get a story out, it had to be big enough to make the evening news. Now news is 24/7. Social media is everywhere. If you have something that is bugging you, you can put it on social media, and then all of a sudden, all these people from all over the world will be like, you know what? That bugs me too. And then it becomes
that's the thing. It becomes, you get the message boards, and it becomes so isolated because all you have is people telling you you're right.
Right.
They're just they're promoting, and they're just propping up what you saying, like, yeah, you're right. You shouldn't have to put up with this, or people should make a way for you, or you are special. And there's not that voice going, you just need to buck up.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, there's the stories now that are coming out that are actually becoming viral. It amazes me that these things are actually stories. Do you see the thing about, it was probably about a month ago, where someone posted on Twitter that like they never wash their legs when they shower, and then it became a big thing, and it was like hundreds of thousands of people going, yeah, I don't wash my legs either. And like, when did this become a movement? Why don't people wash their legs? And it got on the news. I'm like, why is this news?
Who gives a fuck?
Like, give me a squirrel driving a boat. I'd rather see that than a story about people not washing their legs in the shower. Exactly. It's just, that stuff never would have been a news story. And now it is, because we have the Ocho. It's like, it's just everything.
Oh, yeah. You have so much time to fill. It's like, well, what can we throw in there?
Right.
So we're going to throw that in. Like, I don't care. This is stupid.
It is.
But it is. Like you said, everybody can be heard, which, okay, fine. But everybody thinks they have the right to be heard and should be heard.
Right.
And it's like, not necessarily. Bust your ass. Go out and get you a podcast. But that idea of now my point's more valid because it's heard.
Right.
It's like, it's still just your fucking opinion.
Right.
That's all it still is. You haven't changed anything. You just got some people who agree and some who, disagree. But, and there are people who are mean on the internet. I know that. And there's no reason for it. They're just there to be dicks to everybody. It doesn't matter. But if you do get somebody who disagrees, then it's like, well, they're the bad guy then, or they're evil. It's like, look, they were perfectly civil. They just raised a different point, but never raise a different point.
Right.
Even politely.
You remember that show, The Scared Straight, where they took kids to like prison and stuff? And
I remember the original unedited.
Yeah. Okay. So they need to do something like that with these kids. But I think it would probably be considered cruel and unusual punishment. They probably wouldn't be able to air it. But I mean, if you took those kids and like actually took them out and said, "Look, this is the way fucking the world works," and you're gonna have to deal with it. And if you're gonna cry and sit in the corner, that's fine, but you're gonna lose your job.
We're gonna put you in an office environment,
right?
And so there's gonna be smell. There's gonna be
next to the grandma that's wearing white linens, and this guy that's body axed up. And
oh, by the way, not only that, but Chad brings in his homemade stew.
Right.
And warms it up in the microwave.
Yeah.
And then he sits and eats it at his desk.
Yep.
And let's all talk about the joy of microwave popcorn when he gets burned in the office.
Right.
Like,
or the joy of a fish curry dish.
Oh, yeah. It's like, now you get to deal with that. Or guess what? Now you can hear the personal conversation in the cubicle next to you. Mm-hmm. Because somebody doesn't have an inside voice.
Right, and he's talking about his hot date with a girl, and he's a misogynistic asshole that's just offending everybody in the office.
Exactly.
But everybody likes him, and he gets all the sales numbers, so no one ever talks to him about it.
Nobody ever says anything because he's the rainmaker.
Yep.
Or, you know what? Your boss is going to walk around, and he's going to yell at you about something. Be like, hey, where's that report I needed? Mm-hmm.
In public.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In a cubicle for the people in it.
This isn't going to happen in his office.
Yeah.
It's going to happen in front of God and everybody.
Right.
So that's going to be a thing.
Exactly, yeah.
Deal with that. Oh, by the way, the phones are going to be ringing all day. So that might make you a little nervous.
Right.
That might be offensive.
Have you heard about this cat cafe thing that they're doing now?
No.
Where it's a cafe you can go to that's just full of kittens, and you get to go in there and just be ensconced in kittens and pet kittens and be
kind
happy.
Of personal hell is that?
That's a millennial thing, I guess. Like, that's a big thing. Like, oh, it's a great place to go to relieve stress and just be, with kittens and.
Now, if it was puppies, yes.
I'm sure there's a dog cafe too.
Well, that makes sense. They're dogs.
What, you don't like kittens? What the hell's wrong with you?
Come on.
His face.
Come on. You know, if a cat's left alone, they try to suck out your soul when you sleep. No, I
think a dog would eat you before your cat did, honestly.
If you were dead.
Yeah, if you're dead.
If you're dead.
Your dog's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get that bone right there.
Actually, yeah, and I know he could do. After seeing him rip apart those cages, it was like, yeah, if he ever got really mad. But no, I'm not a cat I have a lot of friends. I know a lot of people who are cat people. That's great. I'm not one of them.
Not your deal.
No.
But I'm just saying,
dogs.
Things like this exist because
people
need a place to go to be.
Have you heard of cuddle parties?
No, what the fuck? Cuddle party? Is that a thing? That's got to be like is that another term for orgy? Is that what they're calling it now?
Nope.
Really?
Because you sign a thing that says you're not going to do anything sexual. Yeah. No, it's just people get together and hold each other and cuddle.
What is this, the 60s? What is this, Berkeley?
I guess, man, it's for people who need human contact. And so they will sit and you wear PJs or something and you go and you just cuddle each other.
I guess, you know what? Given how many people stay at home and play video games all day and that's where they meet their friends, when you don't have that social interaction, I could see that being of quote-unquote value. But it's sad that has to be a thing. It's sad that they don't have people in their lives that would show affection and cuddle them and be with them. That's the fact that exists just tells you that we aren't being humans like we used to be.
Or you're fucking needy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know me. I'm usually more sensitive than I think a lot. But
do you need a hug?
No, I'm good.
No, okay.
I'm not a big hugger.
No cuddle party for Phil.
No cuddle party for me. Look, I don't need to be touched. But
I'd sell ecstasy at that cuddle party is what I do.
It's
make some money there.
Point of personal privilege.
No selling of drugs at the cuddle party.
I think they actually say that too.
Weed is okay because that's not considered a drug.
No, but I hug buddies and stuff, and it's just. But that's more of it's an embrace. It's a hey, I care about you. But and you cuddle with your significant other. That's that's great. But just a whole party where you and strangers are cuddling.
Because these are strangers.
Yeah.
That's weird, man.
Yeah.
That's weird. There's probably sites for this shit. There's probably
I'm sure.
Sites. Yeah.
But it's this whole thing of like how it brings you closer and you just Again, I'm usually the more sensitive I'm usually not oafish, but stuff like this, it kind of brings it out of me where I'm like, you go to a cuddle party, get you a fucking bottle of Jack Daniels, sit there and be a man. Or a woman, or whatever your personal pronoun is. And alcohol's not the answer, but at some point I'm like, Jesus, it's go cuddle with strangers or what?
Right, go hang with your friends and have a couple
drinks. It's like, go meet somebody.
God, there's a site called Cuddle Comfort. Find a cuddle buddy, cuddling services, Cuddle Connect, Cuddle Companions, The Cuddlist, Snuggle Buddies. There's a bunch of these. Oh my God! Hold on, wait. How much is a cuddle bunny? Cuddle bunny, buddy. I meant
I call Fletch. Yeah. I call Fletch my cuddle buddy because he'll come
cuddle
up and
buddy.
cuddle.
At the age of 30, Hess is a professional cuddler. For $60 an hour, she'll intimately snuggle with strangers of all types and bring the one-on-one cuddle time without the complications of a relationship. $60 an hour
to sit and spoon
to cuddle a stranger. I am going to do Lyft and be a cuddle buddy. That's my job.
That's it, man.
That's it. You can make a ton of money from that, I think. This is awesome. This is my
have you heard path.
So I'm a cuddling
people who have nobody.
I cuddle like a motherfucker. That's going to be my site.
Yeah.
My video. Come cuddle with me. I cuddle like a motherfucker.
I like it. You can make some money off of that. The people who don't have anybody to cuddle them, you've heard of the, oh, shit.
I wouldn't be able to be a cuddle buddy because I smell like cigars.
Incels?
Incels, yes.
Yeah. I mean, and you talk about a group who finds a web forum where they can just support each other's fucked up beliefs.
Right.
That's definitely one of those where just the idea of me, and I mean, I look back at it, to me, it sounds like, okay, you're the kid in the AV club who's pissed off that the cheerleader let you do her homework, but she won't date you because she's dating the good-looking jock. And so now you're mad about it because you feel used and you think you're smarter or more polite or you'll treat her better than the jock will because he's just a jerk. And so now you're upset. It's like, well, that's been going on since high school, man. I mean, it happened in my high school, probably happened in your high school. But now, rather than just get upset or watch Can't Buy Me Love and figure out that you pay the girl money, buy her dress, and then she makes you cool, gives you a makeover, now you go to this website and talk to these other guys, and you're like, yeah, you know what? We should kill these women. Like, what the fuck? Where's that leap come from?
Right.
And then they just keep stirring each other up, and it's just this hatred. And it's like, man, that didn't happen in high school. You're just like, okay, so she treated me like a jerk, and then you just did your thing, they did theirs, and that was it. But now you're wanting these people to die because you feel like they don't pay attention to you.
Right.
And
it's taking a you problem and making it a somebody else problem.
Yes.
And people don't deal with their you problems.
Right.
You know, that's really what it is.
And some of these guys, you look at them, and it's like, has anybody ever taken you for a proper fucking haircut?
Right.
Or has anybody ever told you, like, don't fucking wear that, man?
Yeah. Or don't eat a sleeve of Snickers and expect to have a clear face, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
A lot, maybe leave the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Bathe every day.
Right.
Some of this stuff, and I'm not just throwing these out there. There was a list of it was an incel thing of traits that that are common to us, and it's like, oh my God, you admit you guys do this? Fucking shower. And then maybe people will find you more appealing and want to spend more time with you. But you can work to improve yourself. It doesn't mean that you still can't enjoy video games just because you wash your hair or you find clothes that fit or that are maybe a little more stylish. But then, they sit and they start getting angry, and you have these groups of kids who they find people to support their ideas, say, I don't know, that immigrants are ruining the country and Mexicans are taking over everything, and now you're not going to have a job. So you drive 10 hours to find a large collective of Mexicans and shoot them up.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
Yeah,
it all breeds hate. That's the problem.
It really does.
These little pockets of people that claim to be different, or they're being victimized, or causing.
And that's the way this kid's thing, right? His little 4-page manifesto. It was like, you're being a baby about this. You're saying that, okay, first here's this group that's ruining your country. Oh, what? That you've been alive in for 21 years? Trust me, country's been around a lot longer. We've seen a lot of shit.
Right.
You ever been through the 70s, kid? You'd be really screwed then.
Right.
So now you decide that the best way to do this is to go kill people? And oh, by the way, you killed American citizens, so that really didn't make a lot of sense either.
Right.
But yeah, people just stirred up his hate.
Yep. It says at least 4 mass murders resulting in 45 deaths have been committed in North America by men who have either self-identified as incels or have been mentioned in incel-related names and writings of their private writings on the internet postings. So there's a big incel movement on 4chan. These people are basically characterized by resentment, misanthropy, self-pity, self-loathing, misogyny, racism, and they have a sense of entitlement to text. So a sense of entitlement to sex and the endorsement of violence against women sexually. It's just ridiculous. I mean, this is basically just a bunch of guys who can't get laid and are mad about it and decided that they're going to kill people over it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's...
You've been to comic book conventions. You know that is proof. There's somebody for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
There definitely is.
And what kills me is that a lot of these. Okay, so this is what my daughter is into cosplay. She's in that whole thing,
right?
And she's got 9 other friends that do this with her, and they're all self-described as nerds.
Yeah,
and they're beautiful. They're beautiful women. You see them in daily clothing; they look normal. They don't really look extravagant. Like they're not model beautiful. But when they're in that cosplay, when they do their makeup, they're gorgeous women. These guys could be dating these girls because they're nerds too, and they have a lot in common.
Right.
But rather than make the effort and take the time to get to know these people, they just automatically assume, oh, you're a bitch, and I'm never going to date you because you're a total slut or whatever.
Well, and it's like, you smell some interesting stuff at comic book shows.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's like, could you not hit the shower before you came? Mm-hmm. Because I guarantee that would make you, if not more attractive, it would certainly make you more pleasant to be around and at least have a conversation with.
Right.
Because you're not offending somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Point of personal privilege. You stink.
Right.
Your smell is offending me?
Yep. You smell like hamburgers on a hot day in a car that's 110 outside. That's what you smell like. It's just...
You smell like KFC that was left in the garbage can outside.
Right. Then shit on by a homeless person.
I mean, we these people have been around forever, but now
they have a platform.
Now there's that group. Instead of having to go to your buddy's house and play your Atari 2600 and go, Sally sucks. I did her homework and she wouldn't go out with me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. And just sitting in there and commiserating.
Right.
Now there's this whole group going, yeah, you know what? You were used. Mm-hmm. You have rights. You're a human being. Like, wow, step it down a notch. Way to overstate it.
And entitlement is a big part of this, right? Because everybody,
it really is.
There's a whole generation of people that feel like they're entitled to everything for free. Like I'm entitled to a good job after I get a degree.
Sure.
You're entitled to get an entry-level job that's going to pay you probably way less than you're supposed to make, but you have to earn the right to get that good job that you have a degree for.
You got to pay your dues.
Right. And they also feel entitled to sex, like you say. They think that just because I'm here, I'm a male, I should be able to find a girl and have babies and stuff. But I don't want to put the effort in. They have to come to me. Like that's not how it works.
Look, jackass, we all have to earn that.
Yeah, unless you're an extremely good-looking person, chances are you're going to have to put some work in on that.
Even good-looking dudes got to put a little work in.
And here's the thing: most good-looking
look at you
women,
and I. We had to. We're two
exactly.
incredibly attractive men.
Very attractive. Anyway, but no, I mean, even women though. I mean, you talk to women. In the photography industry, I worked with a lot of models. You'd be surprised how many models don't have boyfriends because people are afraid to talk to them. They just assume that they're this up on this pedestal and that no one's ever going to be good enough for them, and they only date six-pack abs.
My high school coach
guys
would say that because we would see girls out and be like, "Why is she with him?"
Right,
and be like, "What?" And he goes, "You know why? He asked."
Right.
Because he felt he had nothing to lose.
100% true.
And it's like, yeah, okay, so the guy's a little nerdy, a little scrawny. Like, okay. So,
confidence.
I've heard no before.
Yeah. Confidence and intelligence go a long way.
Dude, confidence is the biggest thing. You ever watch The Tao of Steve?
Yeah.
He's, look at me. I'm fat. He goes, I shouldn't be getting laid. He goes, but I'm confident.
Yep.
And that is 100% it.
Yeah.
And if you've got, you're the nerdy little guy, but you walk up to the cheerleader or the model and you have the confidence to say, hey, will you go out with me? It's like, well, why didn't this guy ask?
Right.
Because he's afraid of being rejected because he can't handle it. The other guy's like, fuck, I get rejected all the time.
Right. Couple movies they need to watch. Revenge of the Nerds. That's one.
Yeah.
Because that's all about that.
I don't think you're supposed to watch that anymore.
Oh, it's great.
No, I don't think you're supposed to.
No? Misogynistic?
Rape.
Rape?
Rape.
Oh, because of the thing when he was Darth Vader in the thing.
Because she didn't know who it was, so that was rape.
Maybe they used the fancy condom thing where she had to open it. Did they have that then?
Oh, the box condom thing?
Yeah, where you're now...
Yeah, I think it takes 4 hands or something.
To open this box.
Yeah,
that
so it has
consent.
to be... Yeah, so
is there like a little...
consent.
I imagine like a little pop-up like bang... Like, the bang thing in the guns? Like a little thing pops up with a little cartoon bubble saying, consent!
That would be that it should. Well, and there's apps you can use where you can say you consent.
As an app.
Yeah, I swear to God, you both signed this little contract going, we are consenting.
My God.
To have sex. Dude, look, you and I are the same age. You know what a buzzkill that is?
That has got to be.
That just kills all momentum.
I mean, you're already
right
killing
there.
it by having to get the condom, but now you got an app.
Yeah, the condom was always like shit. But now it's going to take 4 of us to open this damn thing.
Jesus Christ.
It's...
Wait, 4 of us or 2? Wait, is this like a...
Oh, no, 4 hands.
I was going to say,
4
kind of
hands,
condom
sorry.
is this? What kind
Hey,
of
I
condom
don't know. Maybe
you can only have 4 ways with this condom.
Yeah,
you have 8 hands to open it.
Maybe it was
That's
yeah.
There's a comedian that talks
it was
about
a
that a little
2-pack.
bit. It's, Michael Carmichael has his little special, and he had this little thing he did where he talks about him being a celebrity, number one, and being black, and how there's like so many levels of things that could go wrong there. So when he has sex now, he'll send like a little text afterwards saying, "Thanks for they had a lovely evening. Thank you for the consensual sex. If you agree, press 1 for yes." You know, it's just like that's where we're at nowadays. We really are. Because there's so many things in the way of the normal process now, with how people perceive, misogyny and how people perceive dating and how people. It's not the same. I mean, if you and I ever had to get back into the dating scene, would you even know how to begin to do that? I mean, you were
would be
single,
awkward.
so did you get on dating sites? Were you on Plenty of Fish and all that shit? I guess you wouldn't be on Plenty of Fish. You'd be on what's that one? J-Date. Yeah.
J-Date. No, I met the ex on Match.com.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
So yeah, I'm pretty much off dating sites.
You're like, yeah.
Maybe not. Let's just meet people the old-fashioned way. But yeah, you just don't know. I guess you have a better shot at somebody, in your age bracket. You're like, okay, they probably think a little bit more like I do, raised the same way. But yeah, I mean, you're like, wow, what is this person like? Are they going to have all these weird, rules of like, are they going to be one of those people who are like, don't open the door, that's sexist, that's
right.
misogynistic? Like, I just thought I was being respectful.
Right. That happened to me. I told you that, right?
Did it?
Yeah. I opened the door for some 20-something at Starbucks one time because I was on the phone, I was walking, and she was behind me, and I was just like, open the door, let her go, and she was like, ugh. I'm like, what the hell was that about? So I, finished my phone, put it in my pocket, was in the line behind her, and I'm like, kind of just, did I offend you? And she's like, ugh, I don't appreciate people opening doors for me. I was like, excuse me? Like, I'm trying to be polite. I was trying to do something nice for you. And then some other lady in front of her who was like my age or maybe a little bit older, she's like, yeah, what's wrong with you? And I was like, okay, I'm out of it at this point. They started talking and having an argument, and I was just like, wow. The fact.
And
you
know what?
Happened,
would you have done that if there was a guy too?
I would have done it for anybody. Yeah.
See,
I don't know.
it's you know what? She's being. I don't know, but she's being something. God damn it! Point of personal privilege.
Right.
She's being sexist because she assumed you held it because she was a woman.
Right.
She's judging you. You're just a nice guy.
Right.
Could have told her, be like, look, it's nothing personal. It's like, I don't find you attractive.
Right.
It's not like I held the door because you're attractive.
I could have been like, I was just holding it because I was going to fart and I didn't want you to have to walk through it. I mean, I was trying to be nice.
I just stood there and farted and didn't want to walk through it.
Right. Exactly.
I just don't. Why is it so wrong to be polite to people? They're like, well, are you judging? No. I'm not trying to be insulting, and I get it. Working at the college, sometimes if somebody's in a wheelchair, sometimes it's like, look, I don't need a push, but sometimes it's like, hey, get the damn door.
Right.
That's not the worst thing. It's like they're not saying, yeah, hey, push me down the hall, but it's like I can do stuff, but yeah, if it's a door, maybe it's a little tricky.
Right.
Get out of the way of people with crutches.
Yep.
Give them a little bit of space to maneuver. But, I'm still capable.
It's a crazy world we live in, man.
I
fear for the future. I'll say that. But I also
kind of do.
I do. Go ahead. I mean, I think.
Well, no,
those people
they're
aren't
the
gonna
slow
rule
antelopes. They're not going to last.
I mean, they say the meek will inherit the earth, right? But these meek are too busy in the closet.
Oh, this isn't. I think that definition of meek is more like humble.
Right.
This is just like weak.
Right.
Yeah, I don't. Now, if they had any type of actual power, or I felt like they were able to take control, it's not them because they can't get their shit together and quit being offended long enough to actually put an agenda together.
Right. Well, because they're hiding in a closet trying to be away from everything, away from sound and everything. We're hiding in the basement or playing video games with their friends, and that's
and it's interesting they call each other comrade because it's like I don't think you guys are going to make it in Russia.
Right.
I don't think you would do well over there because from what I understand about that country, it's a little tough.
Right.
They're not as touchy-feely as maybe we are.
Right. No cuddle parties in Russia, probably.
No, probably not.
Or they're really expensive. And you have to bring a wife
in Russia,
back. You have to bring your wife back.
You're told you're going to the cuddle party.
Right.
You're like, what? So it's your turn in barrel.
Right.
I mean, like you, it's like but that these people are out there and that, oh my God, what if they have consensual sex and their condom breaks and their environmentally friendly condom breaks, and then they have a child and they're in charge of that child. It's like that kid's screwed in so many ways.
Right.
That's a parent who goes, we're not going to tell our child their sex. We're going to let them decide for themselves. Like, really? Come on.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
It's blue or pink, people. You can't live in a gray world. It doesn't work
right.
that way.
Your kid's born one or the other, and then if they get older and decide, you know what, I think I'm more this. Okay, fine.
Right.
But, the time they're born, it's like, well, there's two distinguishing markers. We're going to put you in the blue category. Mm-hmm. And later on, if you want to choose it, it's up to you. Have at it. But at the moment, it's like...
How long do you think before that becomes not the norm anymore? Before we have... Because now we're doing the gender reveal parties, right? They have that big thing where it's like, oh, it's blue, it's a boy. How long before it's going to be like, it's plaid, it's whatever it wants to be. I don't know.
Seriously? They do gender reveal parties?
Yeah, people do that now.
Wow.
Yep. It's a way of telling people it's a boy or a girl. I don't know.
I know. I don't get the whole... I guess the baby shower thing's really so you can make a haul. To me, the baby shower is like stock them up on diapers because this shit's expensive.
Yeah.
And help them out.
Exactly.
But, gender reveal parties,
We're old.
Yeah, I mean, I guess people have always done baby showers, I guess.
Yeah, baby showers thing, yeah. But they just changed the name of it. Like they change everything now. You can't say him or her or guys. It has to be specific to
them.
Yeah.
You don't have a manhole cover. It is a maintenance cover.
Oh, okay.
That was City of Berkeley. They changed that in their ordinances, city ordinance.
Christ.
They want to remove gender-specific language. You no longer have manpower. You have human effort.
Okay.
Because you don't want to identify one gender over the other. So what about that person, like you said, doesn't identify as human? So it's like, well, it's not human effort. Mm-hmm. It's horse effort. Point of personal privilege. I'm offended by the term horsepower.
Right.
Everybody is so damn sensitive.
Yeah.
They give a fuck about everything.
There's a book about that.
The
subtle art of not giving a fuck. Yeah.
I have that book.
It's a great book.
It really is.
I think it should be required reading.
It sounds funny, but there's a lot of psychology in it that you don't understand that you're getting because of how it's worded.
Right.
But there's some cognitive behavioral therapy concepts in there about, what you can't care about everything. You can't let all of this affect you and all of it matter.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, most of it doesn't.
Yeah.
So why let yourself get worked up over this when it has no effect?
I think a lot of that goes back to social media and news because we are so exposed to everything on a daily basis. It's a constant barrage of information that can cause sensory overload. And it can, and certain people that have an issue with anxiety are getting that 24/7,
A person who doesn't necessarily have that, you can start getting anxious just reading the paper when it's like, kid killed, this person killed, car accident. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, huge fucking car accident, child molested, and then you're reading the paper like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It becomes overwhelming to anybody to the point that if you don't have coping mechanisms, it can be crippling and you wouldn't leave the house.
Right.
And at some point, you just have to realize, I got to put this away. Mm-hmm. I need to put something else in my diet because this is just too much bad shit
right.
that I can't have in my head.
Right. And it's everywhere. It's a lot more exposure to it now than when we were growing up. Mm-hmm. So I think there's something to be said for that. That's probably a big part of it, is that we've got a society of people that let television raise their kids, that let social media raise their kids. That's really, I think, where it starts, is that there's all this exposure from the outside. The parents aren't doing their part to say, hey, calm down. This is really how it is. And they're not teaching them life lessons. Like, I mean, I think the meaning of life or how to be happy in life is pretty simple. Find something you like to do and try and make money at it. Find people that you like to be around. Surround yourself with those people. And just really be concerned about your bubble. If you have a family of 4, be concerned about that family.
Right.
If you have an extended family, sure, have some concern for them too. But they also are their own people, and they need to take care of their own shit. That's really it. If you
that's
do
where
that,
it starts.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, right? But
because then once those people are taken care of, when they leave the house, they can be nice to somebody, and then maybe we all just continue doing it.
Right.
But if you don't have that as your base, you know,
and if you're not giving your kids the skill set to deal with how to deal with daily stuff, how to change a tire, how to do your laundry, how to deal with people, how to deal. What do you do when someone flips you off in the car when you're driving? You got to tell them, hey, this is going to happen. Just blow it off. It's not really guy's having a bad day.
Yeah, don't let this ruin your day.
Exactly. I still get road rage, and that happens. But
I scream at drivers all the time.
Yeah, but a lot of times I do it because I'm pissed about something else. So it's how you deal with those things.
It just. I'm sure if you're having a great day and somebody swerves out, you're just like, damn it. But you don't lose your mind over it.
Right.
It's when you're already upset about something,
right,
that just fuels it.
Yeah.
But again, you learn to cope.
Mm-hmm. Or that you have to learn to cope, or you're going to hit that breaking point and do something stupid, like the El Paso guy.
Yeah.
That's
where it's like, this is. But even him, none of it was his fault. It was all the Mexicans coming over.
Always.
Doing, and I don't even know what, because according to his LinkedIn, he didn't even want a fucking job. So it's like, what job are they taking from you? Because you don't have one, and you don't want one. And the jobs they'll most likely take aren't ones that you are going to want to do anyway.
Right. Watch the documentary Day Without a Mexican.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's a documentary, but it's a movie.
There's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah.
It's who's going to do it?
Yeah.
Plus, you guys are better in the heat than we are.
We're built for that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not. I sweat like a motherfucker. But
yeah. But I mean,
most of them are.
It's horrible being out and having to work in the heat.
Right.
I mean, that's not easy. And yet when you see people do it, the majority of work crews, landscapers, construction, Mexican.
Right.
And out there sweating their ass off for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this little, shithead in Allen, Texas, you going to do it? First of all, you don't have the skill set.
Right.
But secondly, are you going to go stand out in the heat all day and sweat your ass off?
Very,
No.
very probably not. Yeah. I mean, there's no way that guy's going to do that thing.
No.
And he's definitely not, because he's going to jail. But
oh yeah, he's
fucked. If he doesn't go in solitary confinement, they're going to.
He will have to be put into solitary, or put over in the wing where the Aryans are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. At that point,
personally, I think they ought to put him in with the minorities. That's just me.
Yeah.
I would like to see that happen, because he deserves every stitch that would go in his ass.
Absolutely.
I think he just needs to be passed around, traded for smokes.
There you go.
Be like,
Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't smoke. I'm offended by smoke.
That's all right. Bend over.
Ben, nice to meet you. Victor Hugo.
Yeah, it's... And the thing I keep reading is like, he feels no remorse. It's like, wow, so is he a little sociopath?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure in prison he could learn some remorse. But they're going for the death penalty. The only thing his lawyer can do is get him life.
Right.
He's confessed. He's on tape. It's not like his lawyer's going to be able to get him off with anything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's like, yeah, we'll just get you life instead of death. But
yeah, I'd rather fast track him for the death penalty, so we don't have to pay for his ass.
Well, yeah, we know he did it.
Right.
So what's the point of the trial?
Yeah.
We're not trying to determine guilt or innocence. It's like, we know he's guilty. Let's just decide what, and let's just go ahead and kill the kid.
They'll plead insanity or some bullshit.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously there needs to be a plea guilty, but insane but guilty, because he's clearly insane. He's clearly not right in the head, but he's damn guilty.
Yeah.
The fact that he's insane doesn't mean he shouldn't have to pay a penalty for it.
Right.
Because the worst type of thing, you're doing something to somebody who completely innocent.
Yeah.
In this, some guy robbed you, whatever. You have a beef with some guy. I get it. It was an interaction between the two of you. It's still stupid, but just a complete stranger.
Right.
And what point have you made? None. All you've done is rile up your buddies who already felt the same as you. It's not like somebody was sitting there reading the paper and going, I was on the fence about immigration, but now that he shot these people, I can start to see immigration's a bad thing. No.
Right.
Nobody thinks that. You haven't changed it. All you've done is solidify each position.
Right. Yeah.
But you'd know that if you had any life skills.
No, he was only 20-something, so, yeah.
God.
You
know what?
We live in, man.
We survived the 70s.
We did. We survived the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. We're still
there. Do
there.
you think we've offended enough people?
Absolutely, yeah. At least a few.
Certainly snowflakes.
Yeah,
but
certainly snowflakes.
Fuck them.
And this is, I'll say this. I'm not. Yeah, no, fuck those guys. No. But I mean, there's something to be said for getting the right treatment, getting the right medications. I think that's important.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I think there's more to be said for good parenting. If you brought this kid up the right way, taught him how to be someone that's going to benefit society,
right.
someone that can do something in that world and make a difference, then you're doing your part as a parent. After that, once they've left the nest, that's really on them. But if you're doing your part as a good parent, you're making that effort, the rest of it kind of works itself out. And during that time frame, if you do decide, you know what, their grades aren't that great, they do obviously have ADD or ADHD, get them on the right meds, get them to a psychiatrist so that they can work through that, so that when they are a full adult, they have the capacity to live and be an active part of society.
Teach them how to cope, how to deal in the everyday world.
Right.
Because like you said, there are people like that. But I think a lot of times it's just you're too coddled.
Right.
And so it just makes you weak.
And I think our medical system's a little stupid, too, because they do throw pills at stuff. They'd rather throw pills at something than solve a problem.
It is so much easier to just, hey, my kid has, trouble focusing. Okay, we'll put him on a pill. It's like, hey, your kid's also 50 pounds overweight and plays video games all day. Why don't you make your kid go play some basketball? Because I guarantee they're not going to be so hyper.
Right.
They're gonna get it out of their system.
Absolutely, yeah.
Maybe take away the multiple screens that they have, limit their phone time, because that causes ADD just as well as anything.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It does.
Like you said, it comes down to parenting, and a good parent to either say, I'm going to raise this kid, I'm going to teach him how to survive, or I'm going to get them the treatment they need, I'm going to find out what I can do to help my child survive, because that's your job.
Yeah.
Not to be their friend, not to make sure they never hate you. If your kid is never pissed at you, you suck as a parent.
Exactly.
Your kid should be pissed at you at least once a month.
Right.
Because you're a jerk, you don't understand, etc. And that way, when they're older and they have their own podcast, they can sit there and go, oh, shit, they were right.
Absolutely.
And have to hate to admit it. So if you're one of those who has been offended, tough shit. But if you'd like to let us know you were offended, I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm just being obnoxious.
The art of not giving a fuck.
Normally, I wouldn't smoke around people who would be offended by it. I would, I would be respectful. I would go and light a cigar right next to these little kids. So if you're one of those and you would like to write us and tell us that we're old, well, they can't even say we're old white guys.
Right.
One of us is. One of us is an old Mexican guy.
Yeah.
But if you would like to write us, tell us we're jerks, whatever, Brandon's going to tell you where you can do that.
Well, you can go on Twitter and hit us at Love to Hate Pod. You can go on Facebook and hit us on the Love to Hate page there and like that and give us some comments and suggestions for shows. You can also go to Instagram at Love to Hate Podcast and message us there. We post occasionally there on the when we have shows.
Yeah, when we have shows, it's been a minute.
Yeah, and if you want to hear us, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Stitcher, Podomatic, all the places you can find good quality podcasting.
Hey, this was fun. We should do this again.
Yeah, we should, like in 5 months, something like that.
5 months, yeah, probably.
Come back.
Sounds good.
We'll
next,
do it quarterly.
next time
We'll
you're
just do it
scheduled for
quarterly, once every 3 months. Yeah.
Enjoy the hell out of this one because you don't know when you'll get a next one. We'll talk to you later, kids.